What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening. I wanted to put this in the top of the show. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/Brennan Tassif. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com to get your ex-drinking buddy merch. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, we're coming to you live from Gotham Production Studios, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Grab me your beer and grab me a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. There's going to be a graphic there. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then later on reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but that is still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with someone and talk about the crazy old days. Most weeks I will be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Ethan Filler!
Oh my God, it's such a pleasure to be here. Such a pleasure.
What's up?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great?
So fantastic.
I'm glad you are here this week.
I am here this week.
So for the audience listening, this was supposed to be the episode that came out last week. You know, when you all got the basically the repeat episode, and you're like, Brennan, what the hell? We've already heard this one. What's going on? Well, Ethan didn't show up, so full disclosure to everyone listening, it was your birthday the night before.
It was my birthday the night before.
You were doing your first feature spot 30-minute set.
My first 30-minute set. I had a whole birthday party. I got home at, let me see, 6:30, and then I was like, I had the intention of setting an alarm, and then I fell asleep before I got to set the alarm, and then I woke up at 12, and I was like, oh dear.
I woke up and I kind of got ready, and then I texted you because I didn't hear from you. So we had scheduled it at 11, and then I texted you at like 10:30, and I was like, hey, just let me know what's going on, because we were going to do it in the apartment last week, which it actually worked out. You not being able to make it because you overslept is, well, not even overslept.
I slept through the entire. I didn't oversleep. I opted out.
Yeah, you just completely.
Sleep. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you came on this week. You were a very funny comic here in New York. You were getting your career started. Tell everybody kind of a little bit about yourself, how you got into comedy. Have you lived in New York your whole life? Kind of where you're from, that whole thing.
Let me see. Originally, I'm from Albany, New York.
Okay.
I started comedy in August of 2022, and I don't know. What else did you ask? Well,
I was just curious how you got into comedy. Because you're a baby. You just turned 23.
I just turned 23, and I'm already carrying around Werther's Originals. I'm already bracing for the
inevitable,
the coffin, the casket. But I actually, it's funny. I told someone else's story. I got into comedy because Facebook is a weird place, and I had talked to someone about a room, like to roommate with.
Yeah.
Like months, like at one time, and then months later, they texted me and they're like, "Hey, I'm doing a show. I need to bring 3 people. Can you come?" And I was like, "Okay." And I knew someone else who did open mics at this. It was Eastville.
And are you living in New York at the time?
Yes.
How did you get from Albany to the city?
A car.
No, but I'm saying, did you want to? When you were in Albany, because that's where you grew up,
yes.
Did you want to, was it always your goal to live in New York City?
It was. I wanted to for like a very long time. Also, I don't have a driver's license, so it's probably a good place to live.
Yeah.
I always did like want to be a comedian for a while.
Were you a fan of stand-up or just comedy in general, like comedic movies? Because I'll have people on and they go, oh yeah, I loved comedy. I used to watch Seinfeld, or I loved comedy. I used to watch, National Lampoons. And I go, well, that's, obviously it's much different than stand-up. So how did you even?
Well, I started, I don't know. Well, I used to I would say I would see stand-up like when I was young or stuff like that. But after a while, I eventually just started just watching like every stand-up thing that like was on Comedy Central.
Okay.
And like I got very I loved it so much, and I don't know, just like sometimes I'm like I laugh when I'm having, but sometimes it's not easy for like a show or something to make me laugh. So when something does, it makes me very happy.
Yeah, it's definitely a big thing. I laugh a lot more than I think most comedians do.
When I go to open mic with you and you laugh, it keeps me young. It keeps me young.
Well, I'm genuinely a fan of comedy, and it's weird because I'll go to shows sometimes, and the whole room will be laughing, and I'll be looking around like, what is going on? Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, this is hack, or this is garbage, or this is low hanging. Like, how does nobody else see that this is garbage? And everyone's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. But then they'll say something that's like dark or out of left field, and then once it gets me, and then the whole audience is like, ugh, but I'm like dying in the back. And I have a very loud, distinctive, as the listeners know.
As I love it. It keeps me young.
So
keeps me young.
You go to this bringer show at Eastville.
Yes.
And how did that introduce you to comedy? Like you personally?
Well, I was going to say it before you interrupted me, but I'll keep going. I'm kidding. I'm being a dick. I'm kidding. No. So I went to this bringer show, and funnily enough, I like knew someone else who like did open mics there, like on the same night. So I was like, well, I'll go to this person's bringer show, then I'll watch my friend do the open mic. And I watched this person from Facebook do the bringer show, and I saw them, and I saw all the people in the show. I remember distinctly thinking, wow, I could do better than this.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Bringer show at Eastville Comedy Club. And then the host for the open mic, she was like, are you signing up for the mic? Are you doing the mic? And I was like, well, I don't know. She was like, you can do it. You want to do it? She like talked me into doing it, and then I did it. It went fine. It went possibly above average. If it went very poorly, then I just would have not done comedy.
Okay, so see, I love this thing, the butterfly effect kind of thing about it, where it's like if it would have gone just a little bit worse, you never would have done it again. Yeah. And now here you are doing 30 minutes on your birthday.
I know. By the way, it was 30 minutes. I'll say it was 30 minutes at like my friend's show / open mic. It was like there are people who produce their own shows, and a guy hit me up and was like, dude, can I get a spot? And I was like, it's an open mic, so I can guarantee you can. I was like, no, like I'm not featuring at, the fucking Copacabana. Yeah, you can get on my show. But
yeah, it's an open mic. You can actually. Yeah. That's what I do a lot of times when I go home. Like if I want to do longer sets, instead of reaching out to the comedy club, because there was a big rift between the comedy club and the local scene in Jacksonville, where I'm from, for a long time. I think it's different now that they have new owners. But instead of reaching out to like clubs or stuff like that, I would just call my buddies that ran open mics, and I'd be like, hey, just can I do 30 or can I do 20? And they're like, yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so much easier than like trying to produce like a real actual show to sell tickets and all this stuff. It's like, no, I'll just jump on the open mic and do 20 minutes, and I'll just tell all my friends like, hey, if you want to come, come. Yeah.
That's for anyone watching, that's like a not very, I don't think that's extremely typical to New York. This specific show, they have a 30-minute feature every week.
Oh, do they? Okay, so that is unique to New York.
You can do it if you ever want to work out 30 minutes. This is like unique to like this mic, but like, I know people have told me that like in other like cities, like comedy is like just it is easier to like do comedy.
Oh yeah. Well, we've talked about this a lot on the show, but where I'm from, and so I started in South Florida, which has its own scene, like almost every city. If you go on back to Facebook, you can find like whatever comedy scene. There was one in Dayton, Ohio, where my mom lives. There's one in Oklahoma City, where I lived for a few months. South Florida, there's one. Fort Lauderdale, like even different parts of South Florida have their own. It's no, and then in Jacksonville, I've talked about this all the time, but the mics are like shows. Yeah. Because there's not an oversaturation of comedy. No. So if you want to show up. Yeah. If you want to do something on a Tuesday night and you happen to like comedy and maybe follow one or two local comics on Instagram, you're like, oh, they've got this thing going on.
Someone recently hit me. They're like, one of my reels it didn't go viral, but it got like more likes than usual. And someone Instagram messaged me and was like, I looked through your profile. It looks like you're from upstate New York, like Albany area. Can you tell me like how to do comedy there? And I'm like, well, do you have any advice? And like, my advice would be to leave, because that's what I did.
Yeah, just move.
Get out of all.
Move to New York.
I don't think there might be a scene in Albany, but it's probably
I guarantee you there's a scene in Albany.
I don't know. It might be a grim scene.
But it's still there.
It's there.
There's still bars that have slow nights, and people are like, hey, can we do comedy on like Wednesday? And they're like, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
So you do the first open mic and it goes pretty well. And then are you just hooked? Are you like, okay, this is what I'm doing now?
It started, so for a while I was doing that same open mic like once a week. And then I moved on to, I did that one and another open mic. And then there was like a weird butterfly effect thing where I found out about like more open mics. And then essentially like now I'm doing pretty much like, for a while I was doing like one, like every day of the week or something.
Yeah.
Or multiple every day of the week. And I don't know, I decided I wanted to like start like pursuing it.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to have you on, because I don't know if you know this, but the show is a springboard for a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Rowland came on. Now he's on that Fox show, and Ian Laura came on. Now he has that HBO special. You know, we just roll people into success here.
I'm gonna be on my 600-pound life. It's gonna be swell.
But I wanted to have you on because, to be honest with you, the first time I saw you at an open mic, I think you had mentioned that you were newer to comedy. But with how comfortable you were on stage, and with the kind of some of the subject matter that you were talking about, like with being Jewish and gay and all this kind of stuff, and the way
gay, okay, no, I just get up and leave.
But the way you made some of, because I'm a huge fan of dark humor, everyone knows that. So the way you made it so funny, I was like, oh, this is definitely not like, because we've seen new people at open mics, and they do that thing where they lasso up the mic cord because they're so nervous, so they just keep rapping it as they talk, and they don't move, and they sometimes will hold the mic like way down here because they don't understand where it's supposed to go. But when you got on stage, you just had like a very good feel. You had very good stage presence and a feel for the stage, and it was incredibly funny.
Thank you.
So I was like, oh, Ethan's going to go places. So we got to get you on the podcast now before you blow up. And then all of a sudden. So how did you have a background in theater or stage or anything? Where did you learn that to be that comfortable on stage?
Well, I don't really have a background in theater unless you count like The Lion King at my Jewish summer camp, which
we'll count it.
Side note, I think I got like a character role, like one of the characters from the movie. That character was Ed the hyena who has no lines and only laughs. And I was like, this is very embarrassing there because I had to audition. I had to read a script and they're like, we're going to cast you as the guy who just laughs.
So you read for a different role and then they were like, we're going to put you in this.
I was actually like pretty fucking pissed because they gave the role of Pumbaa to like a skinny girl. And I was like, you don't know what typecasting is.
The warthog they gave to a skinny girl?
To like a skinny, like you know, like Brittany or what? Well, probably it was a Jewish summer camp, so probably Rachel, not Brittany. But no, but I don't have a background really in theater. I was a theater major for one semester, and then I realized these people are.
I thought you were pulling a fast one.
Can I say the F word on the show?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I was a theater major for one semester and was like, these people are faggots.
Oh, that's not the one I thought you were going to say.
Oh, cut it out. Edit it out.
No, we're not going to edit it.
Okay. You can do a little bleep. Can you put the X Drinking Buddy logo over my mouth when you bleep it?
Okay.
That'd be cute.
I'm not going to bleep it, but I'll do
Oh,
that.
okay. Do something right here.
The logo's going to be right here.
Do something. Do like a new thing here. Put like a little GIF here.
Okay.
Like a cat or something.
Like a cat.
I'm just assigning homework to you. No, no, but I don't really have like a background in like theater or whatever. I have a need for attention.
What I'm trying, okay, so that makes a lot of sense. What I was trying to pry at was the whole, because it takes a lot, and I talked about this with Drew when Drew came on. The fact is that there are a lot of people who move to New York to pursue comedy because that's what they want to do, and they save up all this money and they work their asses off, and then they get to New York. And some of those people are going to make it. Some of those people will be successful. Some of them will kind of like me, just kind of sit in that lower middle tier where it's like you're doing shows and you got stuff going on, but you're never going to be like. You're never going to like sell out the garden. And then there are other people where they're just going to do open mics. Like they worked their ass off and they moved here and they're trying, but they're probably just going to do open mics.
Yeah.
I have friends like that where they moved to New York and then it was so overwhelming with the financial costs and everything like that they end up having to work 60 hours a week. So the only thing they have time for is to do like one open mic a week, which sucks.
Yeah.
But for them, that's what that satiates their appetite for comedy.
I have a friend who He's like a fantastic comedian. He's been doing this like 4 years. He has a bartender, so the amount of nights he can do open mics is maybe 2.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very.
I work at a restaurant at night, and everyone's like, "Well, they're like, you love comedy. It's super. You take it super seriously. Like, you're gonna have to quit that night job." And I go, "I can make my rent in 3 shifts. Like, I'm not quitting that job." And it works out for me because my schedule is incredibly flexible.
Yeah.
I do open mics during the day. I record the podcast during the day, and then I work, 3 to 4 nights a week. And then if a show does pop up or something comes up, I can just call into work and be like, "Hey, I'll get someone to cover my shift." So that's why I like doing it, because when I moved here, I didn't have the intention, and this is naive, but I didn't have the intention of, I've been doing comedy since 2009, and I took a little break for like 3 years when I was drinking and doing drugs real bad, but then I came back. And so when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be doing like this grind thing. Like, I've already done that. Like, I'm going to move here, and then I'll be past at clubs, and then I'll get booked on shows. Well, this is what I'm saying is why I was naive.
You're young, aren't you, in a big city? You got to start all over.
Because then I came here, and they're like, oh, no, open mics are that way. And I go, no, you guys don't understand.
In your head, were you going to walk in, and you thought people could be like, shit, is that Brennan Tass?
Can I be honest with you?
Brennan? Yeah.
Can I be 100% honest with you? I thought, because I knew a few people who are bigger in comedy, I honestly, this
Jeff
is
Dunham.
God's honest truth. I thought, and I had so many friends in Jacksonville who've been doing comedy even longer than I have, and they were like, "That's not how it works. Like, be careful. That's not how." I thought I would get here. I would reach out to a couple of my friends. They would reach out to some clubs, wreck me, and then I would get auditions, and then boom, it would be over, and then I would just be passed at clubs. And that is not what happened.
No.
Some of my friends that are more established in comedy were even like, dude, I'm still trying to get past at certain clubs. Like, what do you think I was going to do?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's true. So for you, not having any sort of, like, moving to New York before comedy, before you even had a desire to do any of that, once you got into it, were you very much like, okay, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to? Or were you kind of, you said you did a mic a week and then you kind of amped it up and started doing more?
I did a mic a week for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I started doing I started doing 2, and then it like butterfly affected into me doing comedy. I essentially do comedy basically every night of the week. A lot of it's open mics. I do get some shows occasionally. But like I think I would say that I have like sacrificed like a lot. Well, not like sacrifice, but like I've like shown. I've been like, I don't know how I haven't been fired yet. I was for a while.
What do you do? You don't have to say where, but just like, what is it in the vein of?
I work at like a jewelry company showroom as like a concierge.
Okay.
So I'm basically like a front desk kind of person, but like I was like showing up for like a month straight. I was showing up late to work every day because I was out until like between like 1 a.m. and like 5 p.m. every night or whatever. So like, I don't know. I literally go most nights. I go from work to a mic, stay out the entire time. My weekends, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays, I am essentially. Oh, we could be something. No, but essentially, like I do open mics for like the entire day. Like I wake up because I stay out very late on Tuesdays, and then I wake up on Wednesday, go to Drew's mic, usually go to a second mic, and then I help run a third mic on Wednesdays. Then on Thursdays, I usually do like 2 to 3 mics on Thursdays. So like I haven't had like I'm going to preface this. Comedians were like this is work. I'm like, you're showing up at a bar. It's not work.
Yeah. But
like I haven't had like a real like weekend to myself for months necessarily.
Well, I say that all the time because it's not work in the sense that, and this is something I used to argue with my ex about, because I'd be like, I have a lot to do today. I have a lot of work to do today. And she's like, it's not work. And I go, well, listen, I don't get to like sleep until noon and then get up and go to the Met and wander around for 4 hours and then go get pizza. Like, I have to fucking be up. I have to go to the gym. Then after the gym, I have to edit a podcast. Then after that, I have to hit 3 mics. Then after that, I have to go to one of the bigger clubs to try and book people for the podcast and do the hang and try and get booked on shows. I was like, so I completely agree with you. I haven't had a day I know because I've been recently single. I was texting with this young woman and she was like, hey, let's hang out Thursday since you're off Thursday. And I was like, I can't. Like, I've got too much to do.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but you're off. I go, I'm off from the restaurant, but that's not why I moved to New York. That has nothing, like, I just can't hang out. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. And it's
Did
weird
you blow
for
off
people.
a girl for me?
Well, for the podcast, but yeah. Yeah, for you.
I'm going to think about it that way, but go on.
But I completely agree with you that it's not quote unquote work, but it's also not. I mean, I do say it's work. I mean, I know how.
Yes. Well, it's like the same way that like I don't know, like a CEO or something, like their work day is like golfing and drinking and like networking. Well, not the exact same thing, but like I've like heard people be like, you know, like I make people laugh. It's my job, like a firefighter or like a cop, and I'm like, you're
Okay,
mentally ill.
It's not that.
It's not that, but like I am like out all the time, like rushing places, like on my weekends.
Always rushing.
Yeah.
Always rushing. God, I just fucking, my whole life is hurry up and wait.
Sometimes people are like, are you wearing the same clothes as yesterday? I'm like, mind your fucking business.
Yeah, this is not
I'm trying to make it in Hollywood.
New York, but yeah.
Hollywood, New York.
New York! I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to get into some of these stories because you did send me a list of stories.
By the way, I will preface this. My entire being on this podcast is essentially based on I really don't drink that much.
I know you don't.
Because I can drink in moderation because I'm normal. I don't have a disease. I love when sober people get very precious about that. I'm like, whatever.
I talk about that in the one person show, which you would know if you came out to see, even though you
got on stage and you were like, no one saw my one man show, which I invited you all to, and I was like, I didn't get an invitation. You were like, well, I posted on my Instagram. I'm like, that's an advertisement. That's not an invitation.
That's an open door invitation for everybody.
That's not what an advertisement is. That's whatever. I would have liked a handwritten note on parchment with ink.
And a quill?
And a quill.
Look at us having things in common. So when did you start drinking originally? Because you don't drink that often, but when was the first time you ever had alcohol?
After my 21st birthday.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
loser.
I wanted to say nerd and loser, so it came out as lurd.
Yeah. I know what you wanted to say. It was the word I said earlier.
Whoa.
I think that's what. Okay, no. No, but I had.
And this is in Albany?
No, this was in New York.
So when did you move to New York?
April 17th, 2021.
Okay.
And well, I turned 21 like in Albany, but like it was during the pandemic, so like I'm not going out. And then I moved during April 21, and I went to a bar in Brooklyn near me, and I was like, I don't know why I was nervous, like it was a drug deal, but I was like, one cocktail, please, madam. I'll take a cocktail. It was, I don't know what.
Did you really walk in and say, I would like one cocktail?
I would like one cocktail. I was like, at the end I was like, do you accept tips? And she was like, yeah. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I'd never gotten anything from a bar before. I don't know why my choice was a Long Island iced tea.
Ooh.
I don't think that was right.
That's garbage. That's what trash people drink.
I know. I was like, well, I think I've heard it's sweet, so I'll have that. No, I don't know why that was the choice.
It's like five different liquors. 5 different liquors, yeah.
That was my first drink. Why was that
Did you get fucked up?
I thought I was fine. And then I walked out and I started like the ground wasn't what I thought it was.
Takes a second to hit.
I was like, oh. Yeah.
So after that, were you like,
should I start drinking more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We always encourage people who are normal to drink as much as they like. So after that, were you like, oh, this is cool, or I don't want to do this anymore, or like, were you just like, yeah, that was fine?
I don't like how drinking makes me feel, and I think it tastes gross for the most part.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I feel a lot of times it makes me feel like sometimes I feel like drinking like it's just like, hey, we found a juice that like makes you like act retarded. Like that's what it is. I'm like it just makes it that's what it's like, a poison that makes you disabled for like a few hours. And I'm like I don't know, like honestly, like some like Twitter girl could like drop a Twitter thread and like, why drinking is ableist, you're making fun of disabled, but like it's like a little, you're acting like you make dumb decisions. Like sometimes if I have like one drink, just one, because it exacerbates my already a terrible homosexual personality.
Yeah.
So if I have one drink, eventually, like at a show, like I will, or like at a mic, I will start heckling. Not like, but like specifically the bad comedians, because my friend runs one, and sometimes, especially towards the end, there's a few ones, and like I had like a drink. I had one drink, and I was literally like, I was like. I was such an asshole. I was like, someone told like a terrible like a rape joke or something. I went, I get it. Like, yeah, I'm just being a fucking asshole. Like, I think one time I went like, oh Jesus Christ, from the back very loudly. Just one drink. I'm not even drunk, but like it's the giggle juice or whatever.
Yeah,
so it makes me an asshole. I don't know. I also like the flavors like. Usually the drinks I like don't taste like alcohol.
Yeah,
like,
that's
my go-to
common.
Malibu and Coke.
Yeah, it's common.
It's a classic.
Little girls love that stuff.
I know. I'm a petite little girl.
The reason that this is so fascinating to me as an alcoholic is because when I first started drinking, my anxiety went away, and I have horribly, like I know, like I talk about it on stages, like all the scars and stuff that I used to hurt myself because my anxiety was so bad, I had to focus on something else, anything else, to get out of my own head. And so when I first tried alcohol, it just went away.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to do this all the time, all day, every day. So it's so fascinating when I meet people, because I've had people on the show, a lot of comics on, who are like, yeah, I don't drink that much. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I don't understand all of you fucking weirdos who like are obsessed with it. But like, to me, I think you guys, like those people are fascinating, because I'm like I see it at work all the time at the restaurant where people will drink half a glass of wine and then be like, can we get the check? And I go, what do you, you better not fucking waste that. Like, what are you doing?
Can I have that? No. But like, it's like a double-edged sword where like it takes away your anxiety, but it also gives you like a ton of like unearned confidence. Like the amount of,
and the next day it creates so much more anxiety because it kills all your dopamine.
But like also like the amount of people who like, I guarantee you there's like probably like a million comedians out there who get like tipsy, get on stage, do like mediocre to bad, and then get off and they're like, I killed.
That happens so often. And you would be shocked. It would blow your mind if I told you how often that happens at real, legitimate, heavy-hitting clubs.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Because there are these people.
They're all alcoholics. So like, I don't want to shock you, but like comedians, they drink. And I'm like, yeah, Brennan.
They drink and do drugs.
They drink and do drugs.
So you never, or no, I shouldn't say never. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. But so you don't drink that often.
No, I usually have, sometimes I have a little mixed drink on occasion, but like not that often.
But you do you smoke weed? You smoke weed. I know that.
I don't smoke weed. I smoked weed one time.
Okay.
Because I went to, I literally never smoke weed, but.
So this is the only time you've ever smoked?
I smoked weed one time.
One time.
Just
exclusive.
The once.
Ex-drinking buddy, exclusive.
I found a man online and
how'd you find him? Tell the story.
The website is called Sniffies.
Is it really?
It's a disgusting website. It's literally, so it's like a map that opens up like Apple Maps, but there's little bubbles with people's dicks and assholes.
Really?
Yeah, they comes down and it's like, this person is near you. And there's also a location feature that's like, someone could put like Greenwich Village Comedy Club and they're like, go to the bathroom. You can suck cock in there. Like they have cruising locations.
Okay.
I didn't do that, but I went to this guy's apartment.
No, but wait, let's not jump off the app that quickly.
It's anonymous sex.
That's what the app is for.
Yeah.
So this is interesting in your community, how you.
Yes. As a faggot American.
So can I be honest with you? Yeah. When I first got single, I was obsessed with this idea of, I don't want a girlfriend, obviously. I just got out of a 4-year relationship. After I had just gotten out of a 4.5-year relationship where I was engaged, I was like, I don't want a girlfriend. I just want to do my thing. I want to focus on comedy. And then occasionally, obviously, I want to hook up.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking I was a genius. I go, there should be an app for this.
Yeah. Like Grindr for ladies.
And so I Googled
Tinder
hookup apps.
Yeah.
And Tinder obviously is one of the first ones that pop up. But because I like Googled just strictly like casual hookup apps. And then there were some other ones that were a little out of my kind of
I got an email the other day. There's hot singles in my area. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah, I should have just done that. Every time I go to click on porn, it's always like, do you want someone near you?
Do you want a hot MILF near you? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Well, then I discovered that women obviously aren't on these apps.
No.
because they're, one, dangerous, but two, I'm sure everyone knows this, that women have an easier time to get laid than men do. Breaking news,
also,
I know.
They don't want to fuck strangers.
That's the thing. It's an emotional connection. So this whole idea, and especially in like Grindr and now Sniffies, I know about. And I know Drew has that joke, bumper, dumper, scraper, Grindr.
Scruff.
That, to me, I'm obsessed with that idea of like, oh yeah, you guys just randomly like, just yeah, let's go fuck.
You can do it too. You just have to be okay with fucking guys.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to get him by the end of the podcast. I'm going to groom Brennan.
So everyone watching is like, he's going to get him, I think.
Yeah, I am.
So you're on Sniffies.
I'm on. That's not the important part of the story.
I just am fascinated by these apps.
I find this guy.
Called Sniffies.
It's called Sniffies. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's.
So you find this guy.
It's fine.
You just have a breakdown.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm fucking kidding. No. I find this guy and he's like, come over, whatever. He's off like Broadway Junction stop in Brooklyn, which is. It was not close to me at the time. So it was like 2 trains I had to take. And I get over there and he's like, essentially he's like, we're going to fuck. But like, before we do this, like, you got to smoke this bong. You got to smoke this weed. And
why?
Like,
oh, so you have, you got there and he was just like smoking weed and he's like, you have to smoke some weed?
He's like, you're going to get blazed before we fuck. And I'm like... I took 2 trains, so I guess I'm smoking weed today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
I took 2 trains today, so I guess...
I took 2 trains, and I'm like, I didn't come here for nothing. So I did that, and then it was weird. He lived in like a basement, not like a basement level apartment, but like a basement, very much like a literal basement. I found out he was like a teacher for like elementary school. Which like it's always the fucking weirdest people, and then he had a tattoo on his thigh that was, I believe it was a vagina being cut with scissors.
Ooh,
I don't know what that means. I feel like it's not good though.
No.
But I don't know. And then we had like fine sex, but like he was shorter than me, so like he kept wanting to do like doggy style, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's like a Chihuahua fucking a Great Dane. That's not how that works. He kept pushing my face into the bed and was like, just get lower. And I'm like, dude, just want to do missionary, which gay people, but people don't think, they can do.
I didn't know that.
Missionary. Do you want me to show you?
Why? Can you explain to the listeners? It's an audio podcast. You can't. You have to.
Oh, I thought you don't. You also do video.
I do video.
Head over to the video section.
We don't. If you want to see Ethan, we'll save it for the end of the show. But if you want to see Ethan demonstrate how to do missionary,
you just raise your legs up and do it from that. It's the easiest thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. You just
hold on.
And then you just I got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew. But yeah,
we wanted to make sure.
That was weird. I got I wasn't
that was nice.
People are like, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm like, I wasn't raped. I just smoked a bong.
So were you uncomfortable with smoking the weed, or like how did it make you feel?
Really
you didn't.
It made me feel like my head was filled with helium.
Okay.
It was weird. Then I went on this was in 2022, but I was on the train like, God, the cops are gonna get me. I don't know why. I was
just being paranoid.
Just being paranoid, and I was like, it's very much legal in New York.
Oh yeah, it's decriminalized completely.
Yeah.
There's actually near my work. There's a new dispensary. I don't know how new it is, but it's got like velvet ropes and security guard, and it looks like a club.
Yeah.
And it's called like New York Dispensary, and you walk by, and it's just like
people are doing shows.
It's swanky. It's like, oh wow, that's
people are doing comedy shows out of some of them. Because they have like a space.
Yeah.
Some of them are like actually like cannabis clubs, whatever, and people are doing 420 shows.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we had we've had some guests on.
Because I shouldn't be promoting drugs on your sober podcast.
Well, you can promote whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you promote Sniffies.
Yeah. Everyone vote for Ron DeSantis.
Whoa. My guy, 2024, here we come.
Lock her up. Lock her up.
Florida's making a surge.
But yeah, so that was that whole debacle, and I was like,
so what happened after? Did you ever talk to them again or no?
No. When I might like a princess die, like no, I'm not talking to him again.
Why does Princess Di?
That wasn't a good point of reference. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So
moving forward, we'll edit it out. Go on.
We're not editing anything.
We're not editing anything. Go on.
So I wanted to talk to you. Where did you go to college?
Before I dropped out, I went to college at the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts.
Okay.
Then
What brought you there from Albany, New York?
Well, it's like 40 minutes away. State lines. That's how states work. Brennan.
I'm going to be honest with you. I keep forgetting how far north Albany is.
I know. And so that was it.
Can I be really honest with you?
You don't understand geography?
Sometimes I forget that Boston's above us, not below us.
You're lucky you're pretty, Brennan.
I'm from the South.
You're lucky you're pretty.
I can tell you everything about the South.
When was the biscuit invented?
1534.
I guess I can't prove that. Fair enough. So I went there because
the Massachusetts Institute.
That you didn't even know. The Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts.
It's
a very easy name. Are you going to do a joke?
No, I was going to say the Institute of Liberal. I thought it was the
It's not the Institute
of Liberal. So the Massachusetts.
It's in North Adams College of Liberal Arts. I said it 3 times. It's a very simple name. I don't know why we're still on this. Like, it's called a college? I've never heard of these.
So you go, hey, I went to a university. I don't know what your little colleges are about.
No.
Your little liberal arts. You guys all dance in a circle.
You went to college in Florida. That does not count.
So.
Did you have a question to ask me, Brennan?
I did. So you go to college, and you said you majored in theater for a semester?
Yeah. Then I transferred to English with a focus in film, and then I failed a class, and my parents were like, we're not sending you here anymore. Then I went to community college. Then the pandemic hit. Then that grade slipped again, and I was like, I'm going to move to New York City. And then I'm here.
I'm so interested in this, but you won't give me a straight answer. Why did you move to New York? Just cuz?
You didn't. It's not that I didn't give you a straight answer. It's that you kept changing the topic 5 times. You can play it back. I originally moved to New York just because, well, I had always wanted to move to New York. I wanted to be independent from my parents. And also, at the time, I had been like, I would love to pursue comedy eventually. Then I got stuck in a job.
Okay.
Like, I got stuck in like a serving job.
We did cover it. How did you like the serving job?
It was fine. It was on a dinner cruise. Like, do you know Hornblower?
No. I was gonna just say no to all of it. I don't understand the sentence you just said.
It was on a dinner cruise, so it was like a boat with a restaurant on it, and it would go around the river or whatever, go past the Statue of Liberty. It was called the Bateau, which is French for boat. Very classy.
This sounds like the trashiest.
Yeah, it is. It's like they're like we're fine dining. It's like it's fine dining for like bridge and tunnel, like Jersey people.
Yeah.
Like we're going to a fancy restaurant. I'm like you'd be.
It's
going
on the water, honey.
Yeah, you'd be going to like a nice steakhouse, but you're on a fucking boat. I would go home at 2 a.m. smelling like clam chowder. It was not great. What?
No, that's just.
Oh, that's just reality.
I couldn't imagine you serving on a boat. Like every time, like it's just like, the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I almost spilled clam chowder on a lady.
I get those
not by accident. She was just being a cunt.
Yeah,
no,
I get those intrusive thoughts all the time. Where I walk with a drink and I go, "You're kind of a bitch."
Yeah,
what if I just?
But I did that, and then I got in a hair salon, which I was paid $15 an hour. Which is like minimum wage, fine. But I was promised a full-time job, and they eventually started scheduling me like 18 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
Which, I don't know if you know, not enough to pay rent.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so then, I don't know. Then eventually I fell into doing comedy, even though I had wanted to do it before. So,
Okay. So then you go to college, and I wanted to get to this story about your friend, the terrible tragedy that happened to your friend.
What?
Your friend was roofied?
Oh, no, that was in college. Oh, no, it's a funny story. I just said
I want to get back to college because I want to talk about this terrible tragedy.
It was not, it's a little misleading. We went to like some frat party and the guy, okay.
So who's the friend?
She was roofied but here's the thing.
A bunch?
No, a bunch of people.
Oh, okay.
So like, we went to a party and eventually we were hanging out and like eventually we took her home and like we started walking. Eventually like everyone, like she started vomiting. A bunch of other people started like falling down and vomiting and stuff. And she was roofied, but like some asshole, I don't think someone like roofied a bunch of random drinks.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like some kind of like weird like rapist like lottery thing. We just roofied a bunch of drinks and we had to take her home. We had to take her to the dorm. Like the fucking like campus police came, like the fucking dorm or whatever came, because like they were like, you're drunk, and I was like, well, she was roofied, so like maybe be nice about
sympathy,
it.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't assaulted, but like that's like no one should ever roofie anyone. But like,
you heard it here first.
No one should ever roofie anyone. But that being said, like if you're gonna do it, like do it you have to pick a person.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You shouldn't. But you have to pick a person.
So the way I used to do... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Back in the day. That's how I met my ex-wife. No. But like I had to like fucking baby. The amount of times like...
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the babysitting you had to do.
I'm going to... As someone who was a former blackout drunk, I'm sure you have some friends who had to like... had to fucking babysit you.
And some of them have been on this podcast.
Babysit people. And I'm like... I came out to like... I went to a Christmas party at my job like a while ago.
Let's talk about it
for the salon, and like I had 2 drinks. Everyone else got fucking blasted.
Yeah.
One of them, I turned around for a second to talk to someone. I turned back. One of my coworkers is in like a full out fight with someone in like a club. I'm like, what are we fucking doing? This is La Esquina. La Esquina speakeasy. It's underneath a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a very nice place. I was like, we had taquitos like an hour ago. And like, why are you fighting with? Why are you? She was literally like fell over the end of a couch or whatever, fighting with this girl. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
I want to talk about this because this is interesting to me. So how long has this been kind of your role as the babysitter? Just all the time? Because you're the one who's like, I'm not going to get fucking hammered. It's a mathematical
equation.
Yeah.
Where like, I don't go out with people and be like, well, I'm going to be the mom. Like, that's not what I do. It's literally like, eventually like the pieces fall into place where like, well, I'm the only sober person here, so I have to apologize when someone breaks something.
Yeah, you have to apologize on everyone else's behalf. Has this been happening since college, since your friend and all that stuff? The roofie situation?
Well, just like anytime I'm with a group of people and they're like out like partying, we're like fucking like girls who are like, we're gonna get drunk tonight. They're the worst people on earth. Just the worst people on earth. Like the female Brennan is like a monster.
The Brennan's a monster.
Brenda Tassif. But like,
do you want to know what my drag name was?
What?
Miranda Wrights.
Oh, that's
because I've been arrested so many times.
Oh, that's very good.
Have you not seen my drag stuff?
No.
Oh yeah, it's online.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anna Lepoli, huge comedian in Florida, in Jacksonville. She's hilarious. She has a nationally touring show called Comedians in Drag Doing Comedy.
That's fantastic.
I've done it twice. Yeah. Shout out to Anna.
That's fantastic.
Dr. Anna Lepoli. She has a PhD.
PhD.
So
in serving cunt.
I'm going to clip that and send it to her.
Yeah.
I want to, because this really blows my mind, because I was always the friend that was like, oh, well, if
you were the baby.
Because I didn't drink. Until late into my senior year in high school. And then when I started, because I talk about this in the one man show, and I've talked about it I'm sure on this show before, but I saw what alcohol did to people around me, and it made people like liars, and it made people aggressive, and it made people like
retard juice.
And so I was just like, oh, I'm never going to drink. So I was actually straight edge until late in my senior year of high school. And then, like I said, when I tried it and my anxiety went away, I go, oh, this is way better than cutting and burning myself, like to just do a couple shots. So from that time through college, through all that, I would always have to be watched over.
Yes.
And I got very good in my alcoholism about like, oh, I'm just going to drink by myself so no one has to worry about me. But for you, was it when you went to college? Was it in high school? Like, when did this start happening where you would look around and see everyone else getting hammered and you're like, well, I'm not going to get fucking wasted. Not the idea of babysitting, but just this idea of being around all these drunk people.
I don't like the flavor of, I guess I am lying. Sorry. It wasn't actually, I think before, I'm sorry, I did lie earlier. Before my 21st birthday, I did have like maybe one, like it was like at this party, I had a Kool-Aid with a little bit of vodka.
Okay.
That was a lie earlier. I apologize, audience. I'm so sorry.
We accept your apology.
Like, I never liked the flavor of alcohol, and I didn't really.
But were you still going to parties in high school and stuff?
I didn't go to parties in high school.
Okay.
I literally, all I did was like watch TV and stay home. Like I was like a funny kid or whatever, but I had friends, but all my friends were like lesbians who played Dungeons and Dragons.
Did you play Dungeons and Dragons?
No, but my lesbian friend sure did.
Okay.
So like, it was just me, like, I don't know. Like I didn't do like high school. That's also I think why I didn't get into weed. It's a very social drug.
Yeah.
You can't just walk. You can't decide one day as an adult to be like, I'm going to start smoking weed. I'm going to go to a gentleman in Washington Square Park and be like, hello, sir.
Can I have some marijuana?
Can I have one weed? Can I have a weed? Like, no, you have to like, you're like friends and you start smoking pot in high school. And I just never got into it.
Okay. So when you got to college, that's when more of the babysitting happened.
Yeah.
So I want to know what this experience was like for you, because I know how it was for me, and I've had a lot of people on, and I've talked to everyone about it, from people who are older all the way to people who are very young like you, and it's always a little different. So when you got to college, what was your expectation? Were you like, I'm gonna go make new friends that aren't the lesbians that play Dungeons and Dragons? Were you like, I want to go out with friends, I want to party, what was your expectation when you got there?
I was like, well, I'm going to like make a bunch of new friends. Also, I thought I was going to be having sex. Didn't happen.
Okay.
Still not happening much.
Were you out by the time you got to college?
I think college is like pretty much like when I started like telling people, but like I wasn't like a quarterback in high school. I was basically this. So like everyone did know.
Yeah.
Like I have a joke about like I never came out to my parents. There's not really a need to. I wear like this sweater in front of them. Like, they know what's up.
Yeah.
If they were like if they still think I'm fucking women, like they're what, like, are you what? Like, I don't know what more to like. It would be embarrassing to come out as gay like now, to be like, I'd be like, I'm gay, and they're like, we know.
Yeah, we knew the whole time.
Yeah,
we're your parents.
You should come out as straight, if anything. Like, that'd shock us.
That would be shocking.
I bring a girl home and I'm like, this is Tiffany,
This is Rachel.
Yeah, this is Rachel. We're gonna have kids together, But
so you get there and you're like, I'm gonna make new friends. You're kind of doing your thing. You're gonna have so much sex, just it's hot, steamy sex.
I'm hooked up with like one guy in college. He had undescended testicles. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we won't talk about
undescended testicles.
It sounds like you want to talk about it.
I was searching around for them, and I was like, what's in? It was like, oh, I have undescended testicles. I was like,
he just dropped it like that. Like, oh, I just
You could have told me before. Like, this is
that's weird.
It was like I was searching around in a purse for keys
that weren't there.
I was looking for his balls, and I was like, because I'm a good person, so I suck the balls.
Yeah,
I pay attention to the balls.
That's good.
Because I'm a good person. I'm a good person.
So you get,
and there were no balls, and I was like, this is a ripoff. Like, what is this?
So when you're in college,
yeah,
and then you get these. Now, what kind of the dynamic? I want to know about what kind of friends did you make? Did you make friends just from class? Did you make friends were you friends with jocks or the classmates or the theater kids or like what? Who did you make friends with?
I was pretty much friends with like the people like.
You were in a dorm. You said dorm earlier.
I was friends with like people like pretty much like in my dorm. Like I knew some people like on my floor, and I became like friends with them. Just like I would say like average like college students. Like their majors spanned a few different.
Okay.
I was friends with like a few theater kids.
But they were, majoring in different subjects and just different people.
Yeah.
And then when you went to your first party, that's when you realized, oh, I'm going to have to be the caretaker for all these people.
I didn't realize it just
happened.
At a certain point, it's like, if you're tasked with like a Dominican girl who's been roofied, it's like, you can't leave her alone.
Yeah.
Also, she's being so like this is why I don't I feel bad that she got like drugged or whatever, but like she was being a cunt the entire time. She was being like, we kept giving her water and she was like, no, knocking it over. And like she was being a bitch the entire time. Also, like she brought her sister was visiting and she just had been broken up with. So I had to deal with like this one girl who was legitimately like drugged, roofied, and her sister was like, just like Vincenzo, he don't love me anymore. And I was like, what are we doing? Why am I babysitting both of you? I'm like your sister just got roofied. Your younger sister just got roofied, but you're like worried about this.
God, what a night.
Women, am I right?
Am I right?
Yeah.
You are right.
This is Gas Digital, right? No. No.
So
this is Compound Media.
Shout out Aaron Burr.
Shout out Anthony Cumia.
You had one story that's left that I wanted to talk about.
Is it the 3 balls one?
No.
Oh, did you want me to tell the 3 balls?
Oh, actually, I wanted to know about... No, I want to talk about the sex clubs.
Oh, that's whenever. Yeah. I went to.
Don't burn it yet. I want to talk about how you almost got banned.
I wanted to say like the reason I was mad is because of this, and this, and then he just hung up.
But you never got that chance.
No, I never got that. So
well,
like,
you got it now.
Yeah, I hope no one sends this to him. But like, so that was me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll get banned now from doing this podcast. But like, that's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna like lie over and like take it.
No, and that's good. You should stick up for yourself. I never stick up for myself, so I'm always envious of people who can. Where you're just like, yeah, you fucked my shit up.
Yeah.
Like, that's not acceptable. Speaking of not acceptable, I want to talk about the sex club stuff.
Well,
have you always gone to sex clubs? When did you start going to sex clubs?
I went to two on one occasion each.
Is this in New York?
Again, New York. Well, no, it's in fucking Albany. Yes, it's in New York.
You went to sex clubs in Albany?
They're not like sex clubs. They're clubs where people have sex. One time, so I went to the Cock in the East Village and the Eagle in like Chelsea area. And one time Drew was like, well, those aren't sex clubs. And I'm like, well, people are fucking each other in the ass on the dance floor.
I remember when you guys had that conversation.
People are fucking each other in the ass on the dance floor. So what do you call that? A cocktail reception? Like it's not a sex club. It's a club where people are having sex. They're fucking each other. And no one wanted me either time. Like, so, I'm not a prize in the gay community.
When did you, well, I'm sure for some gays you're a prize.
Find one.
You're a big strapping man.
I'm not strapping.
But you're big. You're like 6'4".
I'm a big lump of nothing. I'm a big lump of zero sex appeal.
You would have been a great guard.
I don't know how to take that, but thank you. But no, I'm not really
6'4", 280.
I went to two sex
running
clubs.
People over.
I walked around the entire time and I couldn't.
So how did the idea even come up?
I'm horny.
But I'm horny as well, but
they don't have this for straight people.
Okay, so you were just like, I'm horny. I'm going to go to clubs where people have sex, and hopefully
gay sex.
Gay sex. Hopefully, I'll run into someone and we'll have gay sex.
It didn't happen.
But why would you go to the clubs when you have so many like the apps at your disposal and stuff now?
They don't like me on the apps.
Oh, that's what you're saying. I'm sorry.
They don't like me on the apps either.
Okay. Oh.
I'm not. If anyone is a fan of Brennan's and they live in New York, and they'll just stick it in. I'm here. Contact Brennan for my information. You can go on my Instagram. I'll probably, if you're not like a Quasimodo, honestly, even if you are a Quasimodo, I'll probably suck your dick.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Call in.
Call in. The phone lines are open.
There's a number. A number will appear right
here. I'm going to put your Instagram.
Yeah,
right there.
Do it. Do it. But so I went to the two sex club. No one had sex with me either time. I will say the one time I went to the Eagle, it made me laugh so much. It didn't make me laugh there, but I laugh when I think about it. There's a guy like leaning in the doorway, and he was like nursing a drink. He was like doing this. He was nursing a drink. So his ass was getting eaten. A guy was kneeled behind him eating his ass, just going to town. And he was just going like... Well, his ass was getting eaten. And I can't even get like a wink.
For those of you listening only, he sipped his drink and checked his watch.
I checked my invisible watch. Yeah, I was like literally, I was like... Good for him.
Well, when this comes out, you're going to get lots of winks.
Yeah.
Plug everything. We forgot to do this up front, so plug everything for the listeners.
Are we running out of time?
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes.
Oh, beautiful. You can find me on Instagram at efiller13 or efiller13. It's going to be pretty much the same for my Twitter, capital EF though. Yeah, that's basically what I have. I have some shows coming up. I won't name them because when people name shows on podcasts, no one goes to them.
Yeah.
That's
just
not
check out you'll put it on social media?
Yeah, I will put them on social media. Like you can if you follow me, you'll find it. But like whenever someone's like on a radio, they're like, my dates are coming up. I'm going to be in, the Omaha Funny Bone on 2/19. I'm like, yeah, no one's going to no one's listening to what they're like, really? I should go. Like, no, the people who are going are already going.
Yeah. The people who are going are already on social media.
I can't believe you wanted to talk about the sex. You didn't want to talk about the guy with 3 balls I blew. I blew a homeless guy with 3 balls, and now they'll never hear about it. Can
you tell it in 30 seconds?
I think I just did.
Yeah,
I blew on. He lived in a van, so that's not homeless, but it is like when white people live in a van, people are like, "Well, that's not homeless." I'm like, "It is. That's what that is."
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
How did you meet that guy?
He's a terrible.
Okay.
He's an open micer.
Okay. Had to tiptoe around that. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Thank you.
I had a
Ethan,
great
for
time.
coming on the show.
I
This
had a
was
great
fun.
time.
At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. The one-man show will be released on YouTube next month, so keep an eye out for that. And get your merch. Subscribe on Patreon. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.